Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we're going to take a look at Doron Dororon, Chapter 4. This chapter, it was a fun chapter, what can I say? This isn't the best manga in the world, but it is consistently above average in my opinion. As usual, as with the previous chapters we've seen, this is aimed at a younger audiences. The morals are a bit more obvious, the twists are a bit more obvious. There a little more is told rather than shown. So, for instance, you have the self-centered nature of the secondary characters presented in a way that is really on the nose. For an older, more mature audience, they wouldn't make it this blatant. But for the age group they're going for, I think it's very well done. This is a good plot progressing chapter. Not a lot happens. It is essentially just one main action scene, but you get a feel for the characters. There's a little bit of character development and a little bit of plot development. This is, it's what I call a connective tissue chapter. If this chapter was not here, the manga, the story would suffer significantly, but there's nothing particularly exceptional about this character. It's good, wholesome bread, something you're glad to eat, glad to have, but not something that's completely... It is completely critical to this story, but it's not something that's going to have you on the edge of your seat. You know what's going to happen. So the character development is solid, the plot progression is solid, it's a good, solid, fun chapter. And that is the end of our spoiler-free review. It's time to click away unless you want spoilers for the chapter. Because it was a fairly simple chapter, there's not much to say, but I'm going to give you a chance to go click away. I've got some interesting news. The large print versions of my books are available now on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. So if you want the Barnes & Noble is a 16 font, so medium large print, and the Amazon large print is an 18 font, so a large print. So if you know someone in your life who has a little trouble reading small font right now and doesn't want to wear the massive Coke bottle glasses, you can go check out Amazon or Barnes & Noble to get a copy of Humans Are Weird. We took a vote to get the large print versions. I hope to have the large print versions for the first book, Humans Are Weird. I have the data. I hope to have that up soon, but right now it's just the second book that's up in the large print. Amazon gave me a bit of a headache trying to get that published, but it got through with ultimately only minimal trouble. I'm like, first world publisher problems, am I right? But anyway, back to Doron Dororon. I called this a connective tissues chapter, and there wasn't much I could say in the spoiler-free section, but there's a lot I want to say in the spoiler section, and because everything I wanted to talk about is spoilers. So we have just some adorably cute stuff on the first panel. And I'm not sure how much of this is character development and how much of it is just the artist being cute. But on the very first chapter, we get to see how Kusanagi sleeps. Now, if you know anything about people or animals, you know that compression is very soothing while you're there sleeping. There are vests that you can get for dogs and cats that just just compress their bodies a little bit, not enough to interfere with their breathing, but it calms them down. There's a whole market for weighted blankets that help people sleep. And in here we have our main character, Dora. He's sleeping the sleep of the just, completely out of it. His feet are out of the blanket. He's just got a light blanket tossed over him. Meanwhile, Kusanagi is wrapped up like a little burrito in the futon. The futon has completed 3 complete wraps around him. Now, presumably, Dora did this for him. But from what we've seen of Kusanagi, he has a lot of anxiety in his life. He's drawn with bags under his eyes. He freaks out a lot. So this really, really emphasizes the concept of Kusanagi as a small, innocent child who needs to be wrapped up tight and tucked up tight in bed. But he's also a super powerful, supernatural creature. So in order to get the correct amount of compression to comfort him without strangling him, Dora had to use his impressive strength to wrap him up like a burrito in the futon, just skipping the blanket and going straight for the maximum compression of the futon. And if that is deliberate on the artist's part, that's brilliant. It's really a great bit of character development for our humane Mononoke here. Then in the next scene, we see that Dora being the stressed out beanie again. And so this is an interesting dynamic, kind of showing the relationship between Kusanagi and Dora. During the day, Dora is being the lightly compressive beanie, possibly helping to calm down. Okay, during the day, Kusanagi is sort of embracing Dora as his hat, and during the night, Dora wraps up Kusanagi to keep him calm and comfortable and not anxious. Then we have the main meat of the story. This is a test chapter where the mentor figure is testing the main characters to see if they're up to snuff. And we get both a look at the mentor character's cunning, how little she still trusts these two. So it's really driven home that she doesn't trust them, and she's very tactically cunning, but she's also young, arrogant, and self-censored. This is a character that's got a lot of flaws. So it's very interesting to see. And she clearly, this is a test, so she's not giving them all the information. But it also shows that she really doesn't trust them all that much yet. And even with everything she's heard about Kusanagi, she's still perplexed by the concept of a Mononoke with a humanitarian side. And then for character development for Dora, it's nothing surprising. But we get another glimpse of this person who's kind of trapped between being a boy and being a man. He still has his boyish tendencies. He's not fully mature yet, but he's trying to take responsibility for himself. He's thinking, he's planning. He's nowhere near the mentor character's level of tactics yet, but he understands how he and Kusanagi appear to the world. Their relationship, Dora's hope for Kusanagi to be accepted, isn't the blind hope and wishful thinking of a child. It's the reasoned outlook of a man who's willing to do what it takes to change the world, at least on this small level. Now there's another thing. We get a look at the monster of the day, which is a boar penguin fashionista. You'll understand when you actually see it. But anyway, I'm calling this Mononoke Ichi. So anyway, Ichi's out there hunting people. He's eaten a few people. He likes to crunchy their bones. The samurai haven't been able to catch him because he hides underground and keeps to himself and is good at avoiding samurai. So the mentor character knows this, and it's very well presented in the story. It's obvious after the fact, but the artist really manages to give it to you piece by piece, logically in the story. And this part of the story is interesting. The fact that the reason that this Mononoke is out there still being dangerous after having killed several people, that he travels underground and is very good at hiding from samurai who announce themselves as samurai, is shown to you. It's not told to you. So I think what we have here is the writer and artist balancing telling a really good story where they show they don't tell, and balancing how obvious they have to make that for the target demographic. So anyway, I just thought that was very interesting. Now, the weird thing is, okay, this may be just not something that I missed going in. I had assumed that the symbol that Kusanagi has on his forehead was unique to Kusanagi. But Ichi here has the same symbol in a very similar spot on his body. So I'm like, wait a minute, are these two associated somehow? But then I went back. Every Mononoke that we've seen that's had a body of a light enough color to see if that symbol was there does have that symbol somewhere on their body. So it's like the flames that appear after a Mononoke's been dispatched or something. It could be just universal, but given the prominence with which that symbol is displayed on Kusanagi's body, I think it's going to come into play. Generally speaking, a mark on the forehead like that indicates some form of control. But who would be controlling Kusanagi, I don't know. And who would be controlling a chaotic creature like the boar, I don't know. But that's interestingly enough. And they fight. The fight comes to its logical conclusion, and the chapter wraps up after 22 pages. That did not feel like 22 pages. This is a very enjoyable read. I highly recommend it, but I understand if people want to wait until it's got a bigger chapter backlog. But I highly enjoyed Doron Dororon, Chapter 4. Tell me what you think. Is that symbol going to come back and bite us as readers metaphorically? The one on Kusanagi's forehead. Is that a control symbol whereby somebody's going to be able to control him? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Go check out my books, Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, and Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote. Now available in large print on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And peace out, my wonderful viewers. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.